Hello, everyone. I'm Carla Tipton, and this is Family Rewind. Over the past 40 years, I've been researching and collecting my family history. Now it's time to share it. Over the years, I spoke to my parents, grandparents, and extended family about what life was like in the mid 20th century before there were computers and cell phones and advanced medicine. One story in particular is about my late mom, Donna, and her battle with polio at an early age. The disease spread like wildfire through Akron and Barberton, and many children were hospitalized. It started with a spider. 9-year-old Donna Romig walked with her parents and brother up the hill past the water tower on Glen Street. The dirt path led through Grandpa Archie Romig's vegetable garden. Donna was with her mom, Edna, and Pop, Clifford, and 11-year-old Kenny on their way to visit Grandma and Grandpa Tilly, who lived a few blocks away. 55 years later, when Donna related this story, her memory remained vivid. While they had walked the path, she recalled, one of those big yellow and black spiders got on me. I screamed and Pop knocked it off with a paper bag. 2 years after the end of World War II, the city of Barberton was a factory town mostly populated by blue-collar workers. Regular folks were more likely to walk than drive if the destination was within a couple of miles. The Romig family lived at 79 Oakwood Street in a small 2-story wood frame house built just before the turn of the 20th century and pushed back behind a Wooster Road service station. The house still stands. The walk to the Tilly home at 410 Glen Street was less than a mile. After the visit, Donna recalled, on the way home, I could only get as far as Grandma Romig's because I couldn't walk anymore. It really hurt. Annie and Archie Romig's house at 125 Hazelwood Avenue, which was the original farmhouse built in the 1870s, was only 2 blocks from home. Clifford carried her the rest of the way. But the spiders weren't done with her. Days later, when she was laid up in the hospital, she said, that was all I dreamed about. Big spiders, spiders filling the room. The summer of 1947 proved a nightmare for parents and children of large cities, and Barberton and Akron were not spared. On July 4th, the Akron Beacon-Journal pronounced, the first week of July marks the beginning of the polio season in this area. It had become routine during summer months for parents to keep their children away from crowds and swimming pools. On September 12th, the Beacon-Journal published a list of 10 rules to fight polio that included such inadequate suggestions as bathe frequently, avoid getting overtired, overheated, or chilled, thoroughly wash or peel all fruits and vegetables that are eaten raw, and protect your garbage against flies by spraying it with DDT. Epidemics of poliomyelitis had occurred regularly for a century and continued until the 1950s when vaccines against the disease were administered wholesale. The Akron Children's Hospital became a leader in Ohio for treatment of the disease. By September, there were more than 300 polio patients and the hospital was overwhelmed. Running out of beds, a makeshift overflow ward for patients on the mend was created in the Grace Evangelical and Reformed Church, which once shared the same downtown corner at Bowery and State Streets. On September 3rd, the Beacon published an article with the headline, More Convalescent Cases Move In. Patients find fun and laughter in church ward. Balloons overhead help make improvised hospital a gay place. The newspaper reported new infections as they occurred. On September 22nd, it was Donna's turn. The article stated, 3 admissions Sunday are listed as possible. A 25-year-old South Akron man, a 10-year-old South Akron boy, and a 9-year-old Barberton girl. After Clifford carried his daughter home, Edna had called her sister Mary's husband, Donna's uncle, Rocky Perrine. He drove her to Children's Hospital. They did a spinal tap and found I had polio, said Donna. By October 5th, her cousin Sandra Tilley, daughter of Edna's brother Truman, had come down with it too. Again, Rocky was called, and he took another sick niece to the hospital. Donna recalled, Uncle Rocky said he was never going to take another child to Children's Hospital because every time he did, they ended up having polio. Several neighborhood girls also contracted the virus. Edna said in a 1991 interview,
"Oh, it was an epidemic of it. Yeah, it was terrible. I was her and Joanne Watson and Carol that lived next door to us. They all three had it, but Donna had it worse than any of them. The others were hospitalized. Carol was for a while. Carol Wolford.
Edna remembers when Clifford visited their daughter in the hospital.
We went up there to the hospital and she was wrapped in them their hot packs, they put on her, and that was awful.
On that visit, Clifford gave Donna a 50-cent piece. I told him, I can't spend it in here, she said. Of the treatments, she recalled, they used to wrap me in steaming hot wool strips. Before I could go home from the hospital, I had to touch my nose to my knees. Only one nurse there could massage my hip and make it stop hurting, she said. The treatments worked. By the end of September, Donna, too, had been reassigned to the overflow ward. When we were getting better, they moved us to the church. After their household came out of quarantine, her parents were allowed into the church to see her, but only from a distance. Donna said, when Pop visited, he was up in the balcony looking down on us. Visitors weren't allowed down with the patients. Edna recalled,
then they moved her from there over to that church, and we went there.
Donna said her brother wasn't allowed to visit. Kenny stayed at home when I had polio because it was really an epidemic and they didn't want him coming in case he was carrying it. Donna's other brother, Paul Taylor, was away from home when she contracted the virus. He had dropped out of high school and enlisted in the Army 5 months earlier. At the time, he was stationed at Fort Sill in Oklahoma. Being his first time living away from home, he wrote to his family nearly every day. Edna saved the letters in a scrapbook. On September 24th, Paul felt cut off from his family during Donna's illness. He wrote, I had a feeling something was wrong back home. I would have felt pretty bad if you wouldn't have told me Donna was sick. She is my baby sister and I'll do everything in the world for her. I'd even give my life. In his letter of September 29th, he wrote, tell her I said to be good and get well quick, and I'll send her a box when she gets home. He commented on the family's mandated 14-day quarantine. Well, in about 5 days you won't be fenced in. Won't it be nice when they take that old sign down? Paul's October 5th letter indicated that his little sister's condition had improved. I hope she gets to come home real soon. Has all the stiffness gone out of her legs and back? At last, on October 13th, Paul's words revealed his relief. Dear Mom, Dad, Donna, and Kenny, I just read the letter with the good news in it. I'm so glad Donna is home again and feeling so good. I would love to see her. His Army pals were happy too. He wrote, all the fellas said to tell Donna hello and that they were thinking of her and wishing her the best of health. They were also glad to hear she is out of the hospital. That is the first question they asked when they seen the note, good news from home, on the envelope. Feeling regretful at being away from home during his family's time of need, Paul offered assistance. Mom, I wasn't home to help out any while Donna was sick, so I want to do what I can, even if I'm out here. I want you to take the next 2 allotment checks and pay on Donna's hospital bill. That will make $80, and then you'll pay the $10 a month, and we can have it paid off before Christmas. Let me know how much the doctor bill is, and I'll try to send a few dollars each pay till we can get it paid off. Mom, I do want to help all I can, and that is the only way I can, being I'm not home. So Mom, do what I said. If you don't, it will make me feel bad. I want to help out all I can. In the 1940s, most people weren't covered by health insurance benefits through their jobs and had to pay off medical expenses on an installment plan. Despite Paul's offer of financial assistance, Donna said, we couldn't afford the hospital bill, so March of Dimes paid for it. After returning home, she recalled having weeks of follow-up, stretching exercises, now known as physical therapy.
She was still taking treatments when she took rheumatic fever.
The polio epidemic of that year eventually subsided. On October 28th, the Beacon Journal headline proclaimed, Church being readied for services again. Grace Evangelical and Reformed Church at 172 West Bowery Street is being cleaned up this week after being used for months as a special ward for Children's Hospital polio patients. Donna recovered from polio with no permanent damage, but her journey to good health was not yet behind her. Edna recalled,
she was in bed from first part of May until middle of August.
Between contracting polio and then rheumatic fever and later scarlet fever, Donna missed a year of school and had to be tutored at home. While she was at home sick, her teachers and school friends sent best wishes and encouragement through dozens of letters and cards. Donna remembered, with the rheumatic fever, I had to stay flat in bed. That's when I started listening to soap operas. She quoted her physician, Dr. Cecil A. Raymond, as saying, it's okay if she listens to soap operas, if it keeps her quiet. Edna remembered that difficult time of illnesses following Donna's recovery from polio.
I should have been a nurse. I had enough training. Really.
Epilogue. On May 17, 2020, Donna Romig Tipton died of complications of COVID-19 in the Pebble Creek Convalescent Hospital in Greene. During those early days of the global pandemic, her daughters Carla and Darla were only allowed to visit her by waving through a window into her room. It had not been the first time Donna had been kept apart from her loved ones during an epidemic illness. When she was quarantined in the nursing home with only medical staff to attend to her, did she remember that time when she was 9, when her mom and pop could only visit from the balcony of the church? They, like us, sent our love as best we could from a distance.